DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and GGBet.
Welcome back to DreamHack Open Seville, where before the break, we saw North take on Big, where it was North who'd seal their spot in the winner's bracket game later today. But now it is time to see who will be going on the same road as Gambit youngsters take on Mad Lions. My name is Spears. I am your desk host for the duration of this weekend, and of course, joining me, the wonderful Potter and Blair. We have seen some pretty close games today. Now it is time for our final opening matchup of the day. What are you making of this one?
This one would be, at least on paper, a little bit more of a mismatch, right? You have Mad Lions, and people are like, wait, who the hell are Mad Lions? It's straight. You know, they are the favorites, I would say, in this particular matchup. And for Gambit youngsters, they haven't really done much. And if they win this one, it's going to be the upset of the day.
I have to agree with you, but at the same time, when I think about Gambit youngsters, they are kind of overshadowed. You know, the CIS region has so many strong teams, and particularly, I mean, if you think about Fours, Dream Eaters, these two teams are the teams that we've been speaking of mostly in 2019, but we can't forget Gambit youngsters, we can't forget Shiro, we can't forget their in-game leader Nafany. These youngsters on this Gambit youngsters lineup, they have a lot of skill, just raw talent on their side, and I think that bodes well for them coming into this tournament in such a mismatch with the mastermind of Hunden.
Yes, exactly. Well, we're going to take a look at our group to see what has exactly gone down today. Obviously, this is the final match of this Group B bracket. We saw Godsent and Illuminar taking on each other earlier today, where Illuminar actually managed to take it 16-8, but now it is Mad Lions versus Gambit youngsters. The winner of this will be going to face Illuminar later today, and the loser will be going into the lower bracket tomorrow. I know we spoke about it earlier, but it is so important to be getting these initial wins because it gives you potentially a day off tomorrow, or at least one less match tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously, right? You want to get that win, and especially for a team like Gambit youngsters coming in as the underdogs in this particular matchup, they want to get this win, because getting to a best-of-3 series, I think that's when their lack of experience, their lack of a deeper map pool, the lack of just not being the better team would be laid bare for all to see. So for them to want to make it to the playoffs, this is the best opportunity. Get this best-of-1 win, and then, you know, pray to whatever gods you believe in and hope that you win the next game as well. 2 best-of-1s, it's easy. It's doable. This is where upsets can happen.
Easy, you say. Easy, you say. But yeah, I do have to agree with you.
But still, yeah.
Absolutely. Today is the day that these youngsters have to capitalize on. But it's certainly going to be challenging, because when I look over towards the Mad Lions side, the Tricked side, they have probably the strongest map pool in this throughout this entire tournament. And they absolutely showed it at DreamHack Winter, even floating vertical in the semifinals and in the grand finals, being able to bust that out and play it. They've got the map pool on their side, and it's super advantageous.
Well, speaking of which, I'm very interested to see exactly what map we are going to be playing in this best-of-1 series. Where do you think it's going to be leaning towards?
You know, like I said, I think Mad Lions, they have the ability to float vertigo. At the same time, though, Gambit youngsters, they actually play vertigo as well, and they play it very well. It's just a matter of, are they willing to let it go in a best-of-1 on land, on this big stage? It's kind of tricky. I don't think that's a gamble that they're going to be willing to go with, and they're going to have to veto out Nuke first.
Yeah, they're going to take out Nuke first, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Train again. The last time these two teams faced off against each other was the best-of-1 in the We Play Forge Masters event, or Master of Forges event, whatever it was called. And it was Train that came through, where it was Tricked, who won very convincingly, 16-7. So I do believe it could be Dust2 or Train coming out. I completely agree with you. Vertigo is a map that, even though Gambit youngsters are comfortable on, it's a map you don't really want to play against Mad Lions. I think they're just trying to see who's going to ban out what.
Ooh,
there we go.
There it is.
Mad Lions going to be forced to go for that ban, and Dust2 is going to be the map. I kind of expected Train to potentially come out, but Gambit youngsters not looking to face off against Mad Lions again on that map.
Yeah, like you said, Dust2 and Train, these are probably the 2 maps that we're assuming, but I am very surprised to see that that the Lions were the team that vetoed out Vertigo at the very end. It wasn't even Gambit youngsters.
I like that. I like it from Gambit youngsters. That's them showing a little bit of cojones.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? We're the underdogs, and you have more to lose here.
Yes.
And we like playing this map, so it's up to you. You want to ban it, you want to play it, we're ready for it. And if that's the mentality, if this is the mentality they have in this map veto, and if they carry that same mentality onto a map like Dust2, we could see some sparks flying.
Yeah, I think that's what's so interesting about seeing underdogs coming in, where they literally have nothing to lose, and they play differently. You know, when you've got something on the line, you're playing more conservatively, you're playing sort of more traditionally. But yeah, coming and seeing these underdogs, especially earlier, we said with Illuminar, they're kind of playing out their skin. I really enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, if you look at the Nuke CD side, for example, Illuminar, it was just them making their opponents feel so very uncomfortable. And on a map like Dust2, that's where someone like Shiro can really shine. Like, he's a player, if you look at the Gambit Youngster side, you look at the names, you're like, oh, not all of them are really that well known, but Shiro with that off, he's been someone at least on my radar. I'm like, this guy can do a lot of work, he can really be the star, he could really shine and like go above and beyond, and maybe down the line, you know, maybe get picked up by some of the more tier 1 CIS teams. And Dust2 is a map where he can really explode. And it's traditionally a map where CIS teams are very usually comfortable on.
Exactly, and that's why it's so surprising that Lions would allow it to go all the way to Dust2 between the Vertigo or the Dust2. I gotta say, I think Gambit are in a pretty good position here. We spoke about the fact that it's a best of 1 and them having to capitalize on it. Dust2 is the most straightforward map we have in our pool. If you have the long A spawn, you capitalize on it, you take over long A, or you put some pressure towards that mid and go cat. So it's very straightforward. It should be pretty easy for these youngsters to be able to capitalize and adapt within the game, in the middle of the game, and call those audibles and be able to kind of get an edge over these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Mad Lions, we can see the team getting ready, getting practiced up on stage. 20th in the world on the HLTV World Rankings, which, as you said earlier, but people might be confused about, but we can't forget that this is Trix. They literally signed, or announced to be signed, to this new organization this morning. We saw them coming second at DreamHack Winter, so they are a very experienced team when it comes to DreamHack Opens.
Absolutely, and let's not forget about God Hunted himself, right? Who's sitting there in that server. This is a guy who, you know, if you look online on like social media and whatever, HLTV.org, with all those 10,000 IQ guys posting, and they're going to be like, you know, he's a crap player, doesn't have the stats. But here's the thing, this guy has been able to find so many good talent, like unknown talent, and kind of like raise them, so to speak, right? Raise them as new players, that like raise the level as well at the same time. You look at the names of Bubsky, for example. He used to play the Fraxis lineup, and then that broke apart. He's picked Bubsky. He's made players like Akorsh, Jush, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, and Rose. Shush, there we go. And Rose, of course. Like, these are guys who are comparatively much unknown, but look at how much of achieved so far, being a top 20 team, despite having a lot of unknowns in the lineup. That's the sort of team that Hunden's always been able to gather around himself. So let's not forget the amount of work he's really been putting in for the Danish scene.
You're absolutely right. The value that Hunden brings to this lineup, the mastermind behind all of these players. I gotta take a moment to highlight Roy, or Roj. He said in an interview, actually, in Winter, that he prefers to go by Roy.
Roy?
Okay.
All right, that's
this
easier.
this guy is 26 years old, and I have in my notes as a quote, newbie. A newbie youngster that's 26 years old coming into the scene, and at Winter, he was like their most impactful player going into that semifinal, going into that grand final. And to be able to show up like that in such a high pressure moment as a newer member of the team and be able to prove yourself, I think that's really commendable. And I'm excited to see what else Roy is able to bring out on this new stage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, watching Tricked as an org recently, I remember watching them at the V4 event.
Yeah.
And they were so good against Versus Pro, and they just looked so solid. And then again at DreamHack Winter as well. Obviously, they did lose to Fours in the grand final, but they did beat Fours previously in the group stage. So there's definitely some consistency coming from that lineup.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at the We Play Forge event again, the recent one they played, they looked very hot and cold. They had some very convincing wins, but then they lost to Godsen to 0-2 pretty convincingly in the finals. But then you look at DreamHack Winter, like you mentioned, it was a very, very convincing run overall. And Fours, they're a really good team. In my books, they have always been a very solid team, so there's no shame in losing to them, right? So they're a team who've definitely impressed me. And again, both this team in particular, I think they're here to get the win here. They're here to reach the finals, maybe, you know, actually finally win a DreamHack Open.
And I'm glad you mentioned consistency, Freya, because you're absolutely right. That's exactly what this Tricked Lions lineup has been showing throughout. We have to remember, Roy just recently joined this team. These guys lost one of their huge players in Borup to Heroic just a couple months ago. So for these guys to be able to bounce back like that, show consistent form, show up and make it all the way to the grand finals on a consistent basis, just goes to show their foundation, Hunden behind these players, allowing them to shine, allowing them to thrive in these moments. I think that's a huge testament to their core of this team.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously they're facing off against Gambit youngsters, a team that may not have as much experience on these big stages as Trix or Mad Lions do.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, if you look at the events of played so far this year on LAN, right, you have Copenhagen Games where, you know, they came 7 or 8. And Copenhagen Games, let's be honest, it's not like the Copenhagen Games of like the past 10 years, like in 1.6 where you had all the top teams playing Potter, right? You have most of the tier 2, tier 3 teams coming in to make a name for themselves. They struggled there. They played the CIS minor where they came 5th or 6th. They really didn't make an impact there. They won the MSI, the MSI, I forgot what event it was, but it's a small event. They beat the X-Epsilon roster and they beat VG Gaming. Nothing to really be that super proud about. You won it, congratulations, that's about it. And then they, in the We Play Forge of Masters, they came 3rd, 4th. Not a bad showing overall, but the worrying thing for this team is when they win, they win. But when they lose maps in best of 3 series, best of 1s, they lose very convincingly. I'm talking about 16-4, 16-5 scorelines every single time, and that is a very worrying factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I gotta say, this is going to be a huge test for Gambit. This is absolutely the time for these guys to be able to capitalize on getting a direct invite. When you look at these players and teams' history and their past matches, they've been grinding. They've been going through all the qualifiers. They've been trying to make it to this stage, and they've been losing to 4s, losing to Dream Eaters, making it to 2nd place, 3rd place on a consistent basis in those qualifiers. So they haven't been able to make it to as many tournaments in 2019 as I'm sure they expected, but now they're here. They got a direct invite. I mean, they got kind of lucky, I'd say, to make it all the way here, but this is absolutely the moment for them to be able to take that and go all the way with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're absolutely right with that, and I think what comes from some of these events, like we were saying, is the experience that comes with it, coming up on one of these huge stages against some really big names, especially in Tricks, you know, at the caliber of events that they've been to recently. What do you kind of think the Lions, sorry, not the Lions, Gambit youngsters will be focusing on coming into this?
Yeah, looking at the Dust2, it's a map where, I mean, it's a cliche, but at the same time, momentum can really matter. And it's also not playing safe. Don't play into the hands of Hunden. Just throw a curveball, make things wild. Just push in, it's okay. Just go for a B rush like 5 rounds in a row. It's okay, it can work out. You need to be ahead of the curve. You need to force map lines to react instead of playing a reactive game. And if they go ahead that way, it's like just, you know, all guns are blazing and being very CIS-esque in their approach to Counter-Strike, I think that could be the win condition for these guys.
Exactly, and I mean, I'm looking over at Shiro, right? I mean, this youngster, his AWP, when I first saw him, it was so impressive. He's certainly a player in CIS in Russia that a lot of voices and whispers have been going through. Shiro, 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 here and there, because he has so much talent. And so on Dust2, it should be his playground. And you're absolutely right, Bled. They've got to run through those shenanigans, make Hunden uncomfortable. Don't allow Hunden's foundation and his players to be able to recoup and come back in their round. Control the pace and be aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we had a split desk for our last set of predictions for North versus Big. I'm wondering if it's going to be the same here. Potter, who are you siding with?
I don't think it will be the same here. I think Lions are just showing too strong of a form right now. These guys, we spoke about honeymoon period and Godsend. These guys absolutely are on their honeymoon period. I'm going to go with Lions here. I do want to see Gambit youngsters coming out aggressive. I want to see them be competitive because they deserve it on a certain level, you know. Not being able to make it to these tournaments, getting 2nd place on a consistent basis, that's gotta hurt, right? So I want to see them come out and be aggressive.
I'm gonna go with you as well. Like, this makes sense, right? If you look at, I still think Gambit youngsters have a chance. It's a Dust2, it's a best to one and all of that jazz, and I'm sure they want to, you know, pull off the upset win and everything. But I agree with you. Like, I think right now, if you look at Mad Lions, they're on a really good trajectory. They should be a pretty convincing win. Yeah, it's gonna be the Danes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be siding with you as well. But I do like what you were saying there, Potter. I'm really hoping that Gambit youngsters are going to be showing us something different, something new, something fresh. And I think that's what these kind of underdog teams can bring to these sort of events.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they need to do. If you look at Illuminar, I wouldn't really call it a crazy upset win. I think it was pretty close. Like, if you look at the rankings, like Illuminar was like 28 against, who was it they played? My brain's failing me. Godsend, right? It's at 23rd and 27th. I think that's the ranking difference. So it wasn't really big of an upset, but the way they approached City started nuke. I want to see something like that coming out from the Russian side, right? I want to see a little bit more aggression. Even the CD side, don't just go for the 3 towards long and 2 towards B, or like, you know, 2-3-1-1 split. Just mix it up, like 3 aggressive towards mid. Make Hunden feel uncomfortable, make the Danes feel uncomfortable, break the system, and try and, like, you know, win in the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Twitch predictions, very interesting. The closest one we've seen yet, and they're actually going to be siding with us for once.
Why are they being reasonable?
That is surprising that they chose this match to be reasonable with.
Yeah, the one match is just so, well, at least on paper, getting one-sided. Well, that's Twitch chat, right? They're poggers all around.
Well, I want to see two other people and see if they agree with us as well. We have got Dinko and Hugo standing by. Gentlemen, how are you feeling about this game?
Pretty good. Thanks, Freya. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Dinko on his first DreamHack. We got some Mad Lions. We got an even madder lad. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to be here. I've always wanted to do a DreamHack, and we're finally here. And we've got a good game as well. I think, obviously, it's a pleasure to cast the first Mad Lions game in CS. So I have a feeling they're just going to absolutely dominate, though, against Gambit youngsters. I agree with you guys.
Well, Mad Lad, Dinko, indeed. We're going to hand it over to you guys to take us through this first game.
Thank you very much. And yeah, first game for us. This is going to be interesting. Obviously, you know, going to Dust2, I think that's a little bit of a worrying one, right? Obviously, you see Mad Lions as the expected victor here, but if there was any map where a young gun CIS team could upset, I feel like Dust2 is that place.
We always talk about Dust2 being the CIS playground, right? These teams that love to go towards this map a lot. I think Gambit youngsters are a team that have showed a little bit of a slower style of play, and I feel like that's what the CIS region do. Either they're hyper aggressive or they've got that slower approach that the likes of Flipside used to do as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Gambit youngsters can do on a stage like this.
Without a doubt, it's going to be a great opportunity for some of these young gamers. And I mean, you know, youngsters really not being a lie in this sense. Average age being 18 years old.
Yeah, they're younger. That's younger than my age.
Yeah, wow.
For once, right? So yeah, getting into this, obviously Gambit youngsters are a team that have only went to one big LAN in terms of LAN at this scale, and that's obviously the We Play event a few months ago. They did okay at it. I think obviously they didn't have too many expectations on their shoulders, but a problem there at that LAN was Shiro did not play consistently well.
Wow.
It was actually Axel who stood up for them. So they need to find a sort of consistency having the star player show up.
Well, let's see if those star players do show up here for the Gambit youngsters. Mad Lions coming into this game as the expected victor. Dust2 being the realm in which we will battle, and a best of one to decide how this opening game is going to go. We're getting right into the action though. Dust2, ladies and gentlemen, and into the pistol round. Take it away, Dinko.
Yeah, looking forward to getting into this one. Dust2 is always a bloodbath as we get right into it. It's Mad Lions on the T side, Gambit youngsters over on the CT side.
Yeah, lots of utility for this pistol round as well, and most of it going towards the B site. Could be a bit of a fake here at the start, as that bomb still sits outside of long for Mad Lions, so they're not in a rush. Want to feel out exactly what Gambit youngsters bring to the table. Blair was saying that, you know, if Gambit youngsters want to win this, they need to be pushing the boundaries. They need to be getting in the face of these Danes, and let's see if that will be the case. Pressure being put on B with that utility. It's not going to draw a rotate. Gambit youngsters realizing that that is a fake, and up towards Cat, this real play will come through.
Yeah, Bubsky, the star of this side, making his way up in towards short. Axel looking to hold on. First headshot in, bomb on the floor. He's under more pressure, but the utility starts to run in for the Mad Lions. They want to try and pick up that bomb. The site is under pressure, but so far so good for the T side as Shoot finds another headshot. It's a 4v4 as Axel swings, and he's domed by Bubsky.
Yeah, bomb going down as well. That will be the plant. The Gambit youngsters, they've got a kit, but they need the kills. Supra desperately looking for a frag, but his teammates are falling like flies, and he's going to join them. Low HP, Inters goes as well, and Hunden with a double kill should just solidify this round. Shiro makes it around the corner, but he won't make it much further.
Very simple pistol play there from Mad Lions. Just straight up short, take the headshots. I think that's just a statement, right? They're just going to keep it simple and keep it dominant, and they just absolutely destroy Gambit youngsters at the start of this pistol. You see Axel was trying to delay and allow his teammates to come in, but they just got picked off one by one.
Now the second round buy coming through. We got a force, and on Dust2, I'm always a fan of that on that CT side. Those scouts can be very, very versatile. Throw them all around the map. So Shiro and Supra taking those guns. Shiro definitely going to be someone we want to keep our eyes on in this map. But Supra is going to be the one making first contact. Quick peek, and the trade should be there. He's hiding below the barrel. How is he not dead? Finally going to get dropped by the SMG, but that was a little bit too messy.
Yeah, way too messy. He stays alive for so long. Far more than he probably should have, but Nafani holding outside of the smoke. Bomb plant coming in here for the Mad Lions. Nafani gets the timing. He gets the one kill on the 5-7, but Shoots gets rid of it.
That's worth it for the trade, though. It's opened up this retake potential. Lack of kit being the biggest problem. Time playing against the youngsters. Hunden, timing could get him as well. He smokes the door. They don't push the window in the meantime. They'll wait for that flash to come through. Shush, hidden in the sight. He's going to get two, and that should be the end of the round. That should be the retake shut down here.
That's 4 from Shush so far, so it's definitely going to be wanting that ace, and Shiro's going to stop him from getting it. Do a little bit more damage, trying to drop every player. Hunden just going to stick around in the tunnels, but Shiro has to fall away. It'll be 2-0 here, but good damage done by Gambit Youngsters. They bring 4 players down over on the T side.
Yeah, decent force. Going to have to take an eco here moving forward. Shiro can try and get some more money with that Mac 10, get the AWP up nice and early on this CT side, and that's kind of what we want as well. Mad Lions on the other side of things have to reinvest. That's going to be expensive, but they at least have an anti-eco to follow for them to build up more and more money. Can't afford to lose too many players in this one, though, and a bit of investment from Gambit Youngsters, as to be expected. G250s, a Mac 10 on Shiro, and that'll be going towards a B site, as will these Danes.
Acor, the front man, looking to try and stop the rest of the hold here. It should be easy. But the Mac 10's going to spray away. Only manages 1 kill. 2 kills coming through already from Mad Lions, so pretty comfortable stuff already as they take the B-bomb site. And even in gun rounds, it's difficult to take the B-bomb site. So you can't really get this back if you're on the pistol. Shush's going to hold them off. Easy pickings. The Krieg finds 2. And well, Nafani left on his own with a P250, and he's gone as well. 3-0 start for the Mad Lions. Flawless beginning.
Yeah, Mad Lads right now, as the buy will come through. And this is what we've been waiting for. That AWP immediately purchased up by Shiro. There's going to be no AWP in play for Mad Lions as of yet. I mean, Acor could buy it, I say that. It would be a bit of a dangerous one to do that on a bonus round, but he's going to go for it. And I kind of love the confidence as well. Still Mac 10's in play for Mad Lions. They might try and keep this pace nice and rampant.
Well, Shushma's forward. Smoke in his hands. Molotov goes deep in towards the tunnel. Supra playing in front of it. Smoke will go down in front of his face. And he can just hide in towards the corner. Hiding his time. Hunden in the lower tunnels with the Mac 10. You can see just a very standard default coming in from Mad Lions. Generally, you want to try and take that short control, but they're taking their time, waiting for some mistakes to come through from Gambit Youngsters.
Yeah, the pressure really is on Gambit Youngsters to some extent, right? And Mad Lions know that. This is the first buy round. This is a chance for these CTs to force fights, but Gambit Youngsters doing a good job of just holding nice and passive, waiting for the play. It will come through long. Bubsky getting flashed in, but he's the only man here. It's a bit of a fake. He's kept 2 players in position, and now the and now the mid play coming through at the same time. There's not going to be enough numbers here to stop it. Nafani hiding towards the boxes, so they don't check it. He gets away with 1, but that should be the trade, and it is.
Well, Hunden trades back into us. We'll get 1 back, but Hunden on a Glock finding kills. You don't see that too often. And well, Supra needs to hold on, but it's his teammate Axel who finds the kill, and the bomb has fallen in the B-bomb site. It has to be a recovery here from Acor and Bubsky. The 2v3. Acor with a shot, and he can't get the second. Axel gets rid of him, and now Bubsky fumbling the weapons. Eventually pulls the sniper. 1 shot, got it for a second, and Bubsky's got 2. 1 more to find as Supra hides at the window, but the P250 was not the weapon of choice. Supra saves the day for Gambit Youngsters, but that was almost heartbreak.
Yeah, nice try from Bubsky, man. He has been such a talent to watch on this team as well. You know, coming in under tricked, of course, and even having great placings recently. I look back to the last DreamHack winter where they came 2nd place under that tricked roster, just falling to 4s, another CIS up-and-coming team. So, you know, a storyline here to already be drawn through from this map. Gambit Youngsters finding their first. That flash is good. It takes Shiro off the angle. We can't get this kill. Acor's still going to be looking for it, though. Trying to time it. Shiro coming in with the repeat, but Axel gets caught on the cross. And Shiro, man, he just can't find a fight. Everything he looks into is white.
Has to back off. Goes for more pass angle, and the timing. He goes back into the open, and Bubsky's ready for it. His 2nd of the round already. Into stepping up on the FAMAS, but it's still not enough here. They hold the man deficit, but Nafani's pulled it back. 3v3. Roy pushing on towards the site. He's yet to find a kill, but he might just get that, and he's got the first.
Oh, but through CT, someone's coming through the smoke. Nafani's found an angle. The car position from Acor gets caught, but Supra is now alone in CT. They don't know it just yet. He finds the bomb. He drops 1, but shush, where's he gone? This player has been unaccounted for a long time, and coming in through the spawn might be the last place that Supra expects. Shush, sneaking on through, waiting, and Supra almost looked like he was going to go in for the check there. Shush doesn't want to give away his position with utility. He can just take his time, and he has so much of it.
Supra just holding, swings into the open, and Supra, he just gets the right read. You know, he limits the positions, figures out, well, if I hold this angle, covered off by short, peeks long, I can see him as well, makes the right call, holds the bomb, and gets it done. And Gambit, yeah, it's been pretty back and forth, scrappy rounds, but Gambit have won the last 2, and it's just good trades coming in from them. You know, Bubsky finds 2 great opening kills, but Gambit Youngsters do a really good job at pulling that back.
Yeah, that should never have been their round, and now they might be able to get a 3rd. Look at the buy, Mad Lions on pistols. Not much to play with. screams a B rush to me, but they're not going to go immediately through that Molotov. Just hiding in the tunnels. Waiting for the time to strike. Pressure being put on the catwalk just so Gambit youngsters don't overstack this B bomb site, and that is not the case. Only one man inside of it. Nafani coming back into the door, and he's going to be needed. Mad Lions ready to go for the push.
Good deep smoke allows for the contact push in towards the B bomb site. Chaos created, flashes into the air. Supra looks over the top, but it's Nafani with the first kill. The UMP finding victims, but the Eagles find three as Acor doubles up. It's a man advantage for the T side, and they've got the B bomb site. They've also got the spoils of war. They picked up rifles coming in.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade, and I think Gambit youngsters are realizing that that's not a realistic round. They've got an AWP, they don't want to lose it. More importantly, like you say, they don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
They've already lost guns that have been picked up by these Ts, so may as well just hold on to the weapons for a rainy day. It's going to be a 4th round, and what a great B execute. Acor, man, he may have had a rough time with the AWP early on in this map, but those are some fantastic deagle shots to get them into the site.
Yeah, they just create chaos, right? They know they have the disadvantage in terms of the weapons they brought to the table, but as soon as they create that chaos, they throw the deep smoke in towards the tunnels, allows them to play contact. They go through, flashes in the air, and that's exactly where these aim stars can get it done, right? Acor picking up those headshots, and Gambit youngsters, once they lose the B bomb site, recovering it is not easy. So that's a perfect round for Mad Lions to win.
Yeah, they'll take that every day of the week. One player died to the bomb there, bit awkward, but either way, they get out of it. You know, that was an eco round. It doesn't really matter how many players you lose. The fact that you won the round is impressive enough. Those were some nice shots.
He just kind of boosts himself up over the top of the smoke, and he's turreted.
Well, a bit of a pause coming through as well before we get back into the action. Mad Lions, this is a notable thing as well, right? Peacemaker now coaching this team. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, Peacemaker is the journeyman, right? I feel he's been to China, Brazil, North America. He's played in every team, right?
Denmark. This is not
Heroic,
his first Danish team.
No, that's the thing, right? He played for Heroic. It's not played, but he was a coach for Heroic. That obviously stopped when they went to Cologne, I believe it was. So he's been in the wild for a little bit, but he's finally picked up, and a good organization, evidently. Mad Lions picking him up and getting him involved.
You love to see it. Let's get into the action once again. Gambit youngsters trying to fight for long, and Interest is the only man here, but the flash is good. Roy saving his teammate, but only temporarily. That AWP strikes him down. Shiro, the only man left at this A site. Those rotations have got to come through. There's no B pressure here. Still time. Mad Lions aren't overcommitting to this A play. They know the AWP is on the other side, and they want to try and get rid of it. Roy has at least got himself into the pit, but only damage to Shiro, who will just be boosted back up on top of the site. Mid isn't being covered either by Gambit youngsters, so they've got to be aware of this catwalk split potentially. It's not happening right now, but they don't know that. With 3 players walking up close to that long corner, Mad Lions still taking their time, still deciding.
Shiro has to put a lot of faith in towards his teammate here that he can fully commit in towards long, but Nafani goes for the first peek. That's 1 kill. Shiro able to find 1 more on towards Hunden. Acor and Bubsky left in a 2v4, and it's not looking good for the Mad Lions. Until that headshot comes in, now there's a slight chance, albeit very slim, with Bubsky only finding the 1, as Axel left alone. Acor.
Yeah, you got there in the end.
I did.
He's low HP. He might be done. Trying to get past this car. He hasn't got enough smokes for the cross, but he's made a bit of a wall, a bit of a building here to hide behind Acor. Finds some damage onto Axel, but I like how Gambit youngsters aren't giving him a fight here. They're not giving him a way back into the round. He's going to have to peek wide and take on that double fight that's going on from CT and Catwalk. And with 20 seconds left, it doesn't seem very realistic. Nafani putting the final nail in the coffin. And Gambit youngsters, really, really great start. Despite that early lead from Mad Lions and even the eco win, it hasn't disrupted the CIS players.
That's the thing, when you're in one of those scenarios where you're having these quick back and forths, generally that's always going to favor the T economy though. So Gambit youngsters have got to try and find a little bit of consistency here as well. And this could be a good chance for them to do it. Back to another Deagle buy coming in from Mad Lions. Obviously with the changes, the Galeil's a little bit more inexpensive, so you can pick that up. But Acor's been picked off early, and finally we get to see Shiro involved.
That was the man that actually won Mad Lions the eco last time they tried it with the Deagle. So an important pick to find to start off your round, but wow, that's a quick trade. Roy boosted on top of the head of his teammate, finds Inters up on Catwalk. Now that position has still been taken up by Axel. He's still holding on to it, as well as the double mid setup for the CT side. I like that glitch smoke. Lets these players get up onto Catwalk as well, but Axel's come in and he's found a kill from that flank. Oh dear, slaughtered. Just keeps going back in for more. He's hungry for frags, and he's found them the 4-on-1.
starts off with a 3-pointer, going back in for a little bit more, but Bubsky finished off. Axel, good round from him, good hold. And it's a 4-4 scoreline. Gambit youngsters, they may have had a shaky start, but they've started to solidify. And they're looking pretty solid on the CT side. Finally, we'll have to see an eco taken from Mad Lions. So Gambit youngsters should be heading into the lead, bar any strange heroics from the Glocks, which I just hope doesn't happen.
Yeah, that would be a little more unrealistic.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see, but I'm not expecting that. One flashbang is all they really have, and somehow, some way, they've got a kill, but there's going to be no more. Oh, almost getting the kill.
That's a wrist breaker.
Yeah, Shush getting legged there, coming up catwalk, and that nade might just finish off the job. He's running, but he can't run from death. The side is remorseless, and Gambit youngsters are as well. 4-on-3, a gun being retrieved for Hundun, a chance here to get an opening kill onto that A site.
Well, Inters holds on from the ramp. Mad Lions trying to gather up in short, but there's not a whole lot they can expect to do here. Hundun with the sole rifle in play. He's got the one flashbang on Bubsky as well, so they can try and engineer something. 1 or 2 kills is all they'll be looking for here. Anything is a bonus. Flash goes up, push in from long this time. Axel has relocated again to the correct position, and he finds the bomb. He knows where the follow-up player is as well, so he should be picking up A-Court very quickly with Bubsky falling on short. Job done. Gambit youngsters get it cleaned up, limiting the casualties to just a mere 1. So 5-4 into the lead for the first time.
Yeah, strong start. Exactly what we wanted to see here from the Russians, and now Mad Lions coming back in with guns at least. No more Glocks.
Yeah.
No more Deagles.
No
and a chance. No AWP either, though. That's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and you want to see A-Court get a bit more involved as well. They hit 2 of his 3 kills have been on those Deagles. So, yes, it was an important round to win, but you've got to find a little bit more consistency here. And I think A-Court, going with the Krieg, at least he's got a scope in his hand.
True. Going to be somewhat comfortable, but Roy isn't. He's already been picked up out of the round, coming through those long doors. The molly forces him forward into the waiting arms of Shiro, and he's gone back towards the site as well. He knows that Cat's been conceded. Gambit youngsters smoked off in middle. Mad Lions not going to commit to that A play though. They do tag down Axel, who's on that second AWP in mid as well. So if Mad Lions were to win this round, they'd get a huge upgrade. Now those jumps back into the V tunnels are going to be heard. Nafany's sitting close towards the door, so he should be coming that. And right now, Gambit youngsters, they have 2 players on this B site. This is going to be a powerful hold.
Oh, what a shot from Hundun. Headshot of Axel, now it's time for Super to step up, and he doesn't get anything. He's hard checked and he's destroyed. Mad Lions, I was going to bring up the point, the fact that they didn't have utility. If they wanted to go towards A, they're going to have to use everything they've got to try and deal with Shiro. He's definitely going to get more than 1 kill there, so they make the right call to go in towards B with the limited utility they have. Yes, they've got a good hold there on the CT side, in theory, but it doesn't really come into fruition.
Yeah, I mean, the info that Roy gets from dying out long is actually worth it, right? It's the info that, okay, the best player in this server, or sorry, the best player in this team is at least over towards A. Let's avoid that. And Mad Lions have been so good towards this B site. They haven't lost a play there yet. So, again, going back to what works, and it works wonderfully. 5-5 on this T side, lots of money kept. But more importantly, the AWP picked up as well. Hundun takes it off the body of Axel at the back of the site. So that's an upgrade for Mad Lions that they are going to be more than happy taking away. There will be that head-to-head battle potentially in the upcoming round as Shiro saves his on long.
Starting to see the picture that Shiro is going to be dominating that position in towards ramp and long. You can rotate in between, you can hold catwalk through the CT cross as well. Definitely the position you want to have your best player in, especially if he's ulping for the side. He can have so much impact and deliver so many kills. And while Mad Lions have got to come up with a way of dealing with him, generally a very standard catwalk execute is in. You know, you throw the smokes up, the flashbangs, you can deal with him. But he's off towards long again. He often starts the round here looking for that early pick. And they've been pretty successful at getting it so far, but not this time. It's a slower approach from Mad Lions, and they haven't put anybody aggressive in towards long. It's a default.
Yeah, it's a round where they can finally let this AWP roam. It's not really had a chance to do anything in this map for the T side. So A-Core looking for this kill, and he's just jumping. He's trying to spot from the top of the door, and he does get the info. Axel getting picked up. That little gap in the doorway gives him a chance, and he takes away Gambit youngsters' first man. Nades into middle to clear out close positions. In absence of Molotovs, that will do, and it will send Nafany back towards the site as well. Still an AWP left in middle. He's not going to opt to pick that one up once they stay on the rifle. Ooh, bit of a miss body from Hundun.
We've seen a few nades not really quite hit the mark in middle so far. And I almost felt pretty bad there for the Hundun. It looked like he was coming back to hit him, but he got away. Shiro repositioned, holding in towards Catwalk, coming around the corner. That's the shot from Acor. He's starting to really light up that scoreboard, having so much impact for Mad Lions as they come on through. They've got the two-man advantage, and while Inters isn't in a position to deal with this, he has the problem of Long as well that he has to deal with, and it's Bubsky in there. Not an easy player to win these aim duels against. And well, Easy does it for Mad Lions. They find those two opening picks, and well, it's an open and shut case here already.
Yeah, I like that lead from Bubsky as well. If he goes down to Inters there, that opens up the chance for a retake for these Gambit players, and there's a spot. Inters, he sees him towards a spawn, and he's going to go back to fight Long. He knows they're going to push towards him, and Hunden will. Man, Hunden has looked very good in this map so far individually. We often talk about, you know, how maybe coming down to those fights, he's not going to be the player you want to watch out for, but he's more here for leading the team and providing help for the younger players and molding these stars. But right now, he's winning his duels, and that's just another problem here for Gambit youngsters.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. I think Dust2 is probably the perfect map if you want to see an elevation of performance from Hunden. You don't have to constantly think about what you're doing. If you have the standard default, it's very much based off the mid-round calls, right? And you can sort of figure out what's going on. It's very simple in that respect. So this is a map where we can see Hunden perhaps even elevate his own skill level, which is just going to add more firepower to this Mad Lions roster. We actually seen that. Hunden is starting to play much better as an individual at times as well, and becoming a bit of a showman. We've seen it at a few events where he gets involved and really hyping up the team, and I think they've got a good team environment here for Mad Lions.
Without a doubt. A Spanish org picking up this Danish team in Spain. It's what you love to see, and right now they want to make another run here in Seville. Coming second at the last DreamHack Open stop, and well, this is the final one of the year. This would be the perfect event to finish off with the first place with the trophy with that 100K. Well, 50 for first, but we won't talk about that.
The lion's share of 100K.
There we go, the lion's share, the maddest lion's share of 100K. And well, I think this is definitely one of the teams that we're going to be at least expecting to see make a run here, maybe in the final. North have been up for question. Big, losing their opening game as well, so there's an opportunity here, and Mad Lions look to exploit it. Now, out on Long, Bubsky's exploited this open angle, but does he realize that Supra is down in the pit, creeping, crawling forward, and there's the kill. Nice passive play from Supra. One of these two rifles already finding a frag.
Yeah, Bubsky committing to that on his own, right? So no chance for a trade, unfortunately, for Mad Lions. So they've got to play with a deficit, and this isn't a round they'll be looking to lose. You've got two pistols on the other side. Should be very favorites towards the Danes here.
I like this setup because they put Shiro alone on B and 4 players on the A side of the map. They know that Mad Lions have been not only avoiding this AWP, but winning B time after time. So putting this solo AWP, if Mad Lions were to go B, let Shiro show what he can do, but that might not be the play right now. Smokes towards that A site, could be going back towards middle and trying to split this B site, and that's where Shiro is going to need to show us his best work.
And it's going to be difficult for an AWPer trying to fight off multiple different angles, right? So this has to be a big play from Nafani. He can't let them run away. There's the first. He's got the perfect position. Rain away, but the Molotov gets him. He cannot quite capitalize. And now it's time for Shiro to light up the scoreboard. First shot landed, but it's not death coming onto the tees just yet. He manages only one, but he's done damage. Hunden, the big brain play, letting them walk past. He gets one, but traded back by the USP. It's all on Acor. The bomb not planted, and two players on the other end of the window. He'll tap, he'll go forward. Quick shot going for more, but they're not committing towards his crosshair. 5 seconds. Acor committing to the plant. Inters throws the Molotov. It was so low. Walk away from the fire. Goes back towards the door. And at this point, just hiding back. Inters waiting. Acor just holding on in below the window. Time is ticking. What a clutch from Acor. 3 kills as he absolutely decimates the Gambit youngsters.
That is such a nice play from Acor. So reserved and just not getting flustered in that hectic scenario. Trying to get the bomb plant with 7 seconds. 2 players on the other side of the door. Inters, he plays it as well as he can with not going through to stop that plant. He didn't know if it was a fake or not, and it's always worth the risk just to hide. But he can't get past that choke point. It was a 50-50 door or window, and Acor's going to nail it. Not this one though. Just missing that opening shot. Flashbang was good from Gambit youngsters. They've been at least showing us great utility on the CT side, flashing themselves in for peaks, not giving up angles for free. And Axel will get himself into the pit as well. So long control conceded by the Mad Lions. Another default just being held. They know that this is an important swing round that can get them significantly further into the lead. It's going to put Gambit youngsters on eco if Mad Lions pick it up. So the importance of this round cannot be understated.
We've seen a lot of these important Low buy rounds coming in. Investments have been all over the place for both sides. A good scrappy start, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're a neutral, a spectator. But Gambit youngsters, currently on the back foot. Molotov ready to clear the close corner. Spam will come through as well for multiple opponents. They definitely have cleared that.
For now. But Gambit youngsters, very aggressive. They're going up on Catwalk. That's the bomb. Drop Roy, getting one, but Acor's going to follow up for Mad Lions. Will they expect a third player? No, but the trade is even there. Acor just nailing shot after shot on this AWP. And Gambit youngsters, they're down by a man right now. They're going to get mollied off on Cat as well. That cuts off this retake. No smoke to burst through it. They've got to wait it out. More utility coming down for the Lions as well, and Gambit youngsters are just not given an opportunity back into the site. They know the importance of the economy, and they're just going to fall back and save once again.
Acor, man, he's just been on another level, right? He had a quieter start, but he opens up with those 2 Deagle kills, gets them an important round win, and after that, it seems like he's just hitting every single shot he goes and attempts. Clutches coming through, big openings. Exactly what you want if you're Mad Lions, because he can be the second star of this team, right?
Sure.
Bubsky, you will say he is the star of the roster, but for me, has been a little bit inconsistent at times. We've seen him have a quieter performance at the We Play event, but a good sign for this Mad Lions side is that at the last event, DreamHack Winter, he stepped up and his rating was 1.21, so clearly back to his normal level. And if you can get Bubsky and Acor firing on all cylinders, this is a very scary team for pretty much anyone in this tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, fast trades and an 8th round taken by the Mad Lions. They're even going to call in a tactical pause moving forward, and I like that as well, right? Even though you're winning, it's not done. There's still rounds to be played, and if you've got ideas, best voice them rather than let them go unheard. Gambit youngsters saving weapons, buying pistols around them, but not fully investing, looking to buy up for the last round of the half. This isn't too bad, though, for the youngsters at the end of the day. 10-5 wouldn't be great, but they've still got a good shot of getting a 9-6, and we've seen some of these eco rounds get a little bit close as well. I want to see what their setup is with the 2 guns. Last time we saw that, we had the AWP on Shiro towards B. We had someone Supra hiding in the pit, waiting for Bubsy to get out. So where do these 2 weapons go now for the youngsters?
Acor attempting a shot through the mid door. Smoke was up, couldn't quite spot anybody, but it's a fast play from the Mad Lions immediately out towards long. 3 players there applying pressure on towards Tar, the Molotov, the nade is all coming through. The Gambit youngsters have got a much more passive setup playing in towards short. They're actually going aggressive now off the back of that, so gonna try and take some mid control. Shiro looking to try and get boosted up, but there's this
other side.
Yeah, you gotta do that. There we go. Done that a few times myself.
We've all been there. Oh dear, this is the worst way this round can go for Gambit youngsters, though. They have 1 man on B at Supra, and there's no way he's going to be able to stop 4 Danes coming in through the tunnels. It's going to be a rainstorm in through this site. Bubsky, he's coming in through mid on the lurk as well, but that's where one of these guns is. Fast play for Hunter, and he checks it, but Supra gets away with 1. There's the trade as expected, but the retake at this point might just be out the window. There's no kit, there's only an AWP on Shiro. You don't want to lose it. Bubsky getting dropped, though. That's a massive kill, and it's opened up a chance.
All right, Axel is walking around finding the kill on the USP, and now's a chance to get right back into this. Axel enters, going forward. The window looks like the prime area to try and retake from. Before that happened, the Molotov coming through, that'll halt them for a little bit longer, and there's no kit in play, so that's the problem. They have limited time to get back into this site, and again, retaking the B bomb site is relatively impossible, so it looks like they've just got to hang on to these. Definitely the educated decision.
See, it's a hard one. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because they can buy them next round regardless. They could lose these guns and still be fine. No, the buy won't be perfect. It's going to have holes. But there was a chance there for, at least 1 player to go through, probe, try and find out if it's a winnable round. If you get a kill, maybe you will fully commit. If you die, will you save 2 guns? Yeah. It's a hard decision to make in the moment. And I think that Molotov definitely decides things for Gambit youngsters, the time not being in their favor. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, well,
God.
It's definitely the worst auto sniper as well. That's the worst part. Right, we'll see what
every auto sniper is the worst.
Yeah, we'll see what they can get done. Bubsky's going to start spamming through. No damage done just yet. Absolutely none. 0 health points done.
Good. That's what I like to see. But fast long play coming through in response, and the Gambit youngsters, they've got mad numbers here. They've got 2 players. Axel going through the smoke, and Roy finding a kill through 1 as well. Shiro not going to hit the headshot, and he will be kept out of this round. It's looking like a 10th here for Mad Lions. Will there be anyone that can stop them?
Well, the Mad Lions have certainly turned it up a gear. They're starting to get into their stride. And well, it's all on Supra, a 1v4, and Bubsky's gotten rid of him. A 10-5 half coming in from the Mad Lions, and it's time for a short break, but we'll be back with the second half. Well, the Mad Lions certainly are mad. A 10-5 half coming in, looking pretty solid on their debut under the new organization. And well, the questions are all for Gambit youngsters now. How are they going to come back into this? I don't really know if there's a way back into this, Hugo.
Well, it's got to start with something, and that will be the pistol round, and a bit of a B play seemingly coming through for these Ts. A fast approach towards the tunnels, but coming out through lower instead. That's where they might be met. Bubsky looking to make a fight through that position anyway. He's been spotted and pushed back. Mad Lions really all over this mid spot right now, fighting from the catwalk as well. Gambit youngsters trying to get out through this choke point, through those double doors, but I'm not sure where this is going to be ending up. With a man outside of long, you can imagine they want to get up catwalk and go for an A play, but there are heavy numbers here. Flash up, great timing. Axel's blind, Super as well. And Roy's going to drop them both. Trade is in, but the bomb is dropped in no man's land, and Akor's fighting for it. Won't stick around for too much longer, but he can now with another flash. Inter is getting pushed into the corner, and Akor's got him as well. Oh, I love that pistol round from Mad Lions, and surely there's no way back in here for Shiro.
That's just such a well-played pistol. They came into it immediately with good discipline, but Shiro does his best, finds a snappy headshot on the Glock. But yeah, just a perfect pistol coming in from the Mad Lions. Initial discipline is there as well, not giving up any of those early fights. The flashbang has the perfect timing. The second shot was pretty filthy because Roy's under pressure, right? You're getting shot from multiple different angles. To be so cool and calm under pressure like that and find the second kill, that's impressive.
Yeah, for someone, you know, as Potter was saying on the desk, right, debut for this guy in this year, and like a youngster, I guess, but he's 26. I've never heard of this man before, you know, the last few events here, and he has been so good. He's been such a stellar player for the Tricked and Mad Lions team. And fast play with the Glocks here for Gambit youngsters. This is them going into the meat grinder and not coming out in one piece. Oh dear. No survivors here in middle. A 12th round, and Gambit youngsters running out of opportunities here. They've got to buy round, and they've got to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely, just destroying them. That hot knife through butter. And Roy stepping up as well with those 3 kills. I think we're starting to really see that dynamic start to be established on this Mad Lions side. You've got Akor, you've got Bubsky, and Roy stepping up. So really good to see. It's 12-5 on the board, 4 away from victory in their opening matchup. And well, this is a bit of a bonus in terms of the weapons they've brought to the table.
I don't think I've said Shushu's name yet this game, and that's not because he's doing badly. He's just not really been seeing anyone. 8 and 8. Yeah, you know, he's not had a rough time or an amazing time. Yeah. He's just been there, and now he's tasked with holding the B site on his own. So a big role to fill in this round and in this half. Gambit youngsters armed well, AKs and Kriegs. Gonna hang around in middle for the time being. Cat control even being taken. Mad Lions giving them a lot of room to work with, at least trying to gauge how this T side is going to be played.
Well, Supra with the Molotov. Going to go up and clear around the corner. They've been caught off by that a few times already, so definitely do not want to die to anybody playing aggressive on those stairs. So clear that effectively. And they're going to be methodical in their catwalk approach. They drop back, Supra. Toying and pronging his way through in towards middle. He moves through a good flash up into the air, but doesn't get anything just yet. And Bubsky gets rid of him on the MP9. So the SMG starting things off well. 45 seconds as well in play, and they're looking to head in towards the B bomb site. And Deep's not coming through. Nefani needed to win that, but it's Bubsky continuing with the MP9, and this is looking so solid for the CTs.
Yeah, that's a big kill, and Axel's still in middle as well. They haven't cleared him out from the cubby, but finally Shush coming in with 2 on that B site, and Akor drops the lurk as well. Mad Lions, great defense of that B site, and look at the weapons that they've drawn out of it as well. They came into that one with SMGs. Yeah. They've now got Kriegs and AKs. Oh dear.
They're really starting to just hammer each and every nail into this coffin right now of the Gambit youngsters. I think that one's a big one. You know, if you lose the SMGs, look at the money being built up at a few of these players.
And that was a weird mid to be as well from Gambit youngsters. It was very segregated. First player going out alone with no support. A late trade as, you know, Bubsky finds that first kill. It seems like, you know, cracks are starting to show here for the Gambit youngsters. And in their opening game of DreamHack Seville, that is not where the cracks can afford to show. What if they want to make a run? Mad Lions not making it easy. All right, Hunter, we get it. Your brain's big. Don't rub it in.
He's definitely got that in every single color available.
Yeah.
He's also got big numbers as well. Good performance coming through. 13-5, Bubsky. He has dropped Shiro. Supra and Inter's left into a 2v5. 3 away from victory, and certainly looking like it's going to be 2. As Bubsky looks to hold on the last 2 players. There's Supra with a nice headshot through the door, but much more than that, I don't think so.
No, not at this rate. Guns being picked up. I'd like to see that thrown to Inters, who actually has that Kevlar, but Hunden, oh, he's pushed all the way around. He might get checked here, but they have dodged him going towards the B tunnels, and this is so much info for Mad Lions as well. They don't know whether these Ts are up on Cat, though, so they have to consider that possibility, but more likely going to be a B play. And Shush, he's scoped in, he's ready and waiting. Flash is coming through, and that Molotov is going to force them forward into the firing line, and Mad Lions, another easy round taken. 14-5. This is just looking simple.
It really is looking simple, and the only real shining light for Gambit youngsters was 1 or 2 individual plays at the very start of Dust2.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a punching bag, essentially, for Mad Lions here. And Gambit youngsters, they're the wounded gazelle, as the Mad Lions hunt them down.
A bite taken out of these guys, and yet to field a T-side round. Well, this is it, do or die. Do or die, quite literally, as 2 rounds remain, potentially, of this game. Roy, he's had enough. He's just getting aggressive, and it will work out wonderfully. Dropping Napoli down in middle. Supra gets ahead of the Molotov up onto the catwalk, but he can't get there in time to trade. Mad Lions have already fallen back to the site. Roy needs to remain aware that there could be a response to this cat control, and there is, but Smoke will keep Supra back as the bomb sits out on long. Gambit youngsters with the majority of their players moving up, but that's where the AWP is. It's been boosted on top of the site.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially after losing that initial kill. Oh, there's no A-core, lightning fast, finds the head of Shiro. Not the player you want to lose if you're Gambit youngsters. And now they face the 2-man deficit as they need to recover. They head in towards the A-bomb site, crossing on the smoke. Supra's got 1 kill on the back, but A-core is still hitting every shot. Another one going into his collection, and it's all on Supra. They know exactly where he is. He'll try and force A-core into the open with a Molotov. He does that successfully, but needs more, and a second shot is there. A chance here for Supra. A 1 versus 2 for the ace squad. He turns back, had the right read, but Shush takes his head off. It's map point for the Mad Lions.
And there we go. We say we're not talking about Shush anymore. Well, he finally comes in and saves the day in an important round as well, right? He's really... I was going to say recovered, but it's not like he had a rough first half. Yeah. He was just quiet. Just nothing really happened. He was positive, and now he's even more so. No rounds on this T side for Gambit youngsters, and I don't know if that's going to change. They've got to buy to field here in round number 21, but it's got to be everything. It's got to save them. And a 10-round deficit, that feels hard to believe in. Moving through the tunnels once again. Still this double AWP as well, and that's a scary factor talking about that, right? Bubsky, he's sick enough on a rifle. Throw him in on an AWP, and that's an even more terrifying prospect as well. Mad
Lions not looking to pull any punches. They want this to be over and done with as quickly as possible to make a statement in the tournament. But they are one of the favorites, if not the favorite, for this entire show. And well, they'll take their time here. Gambit youngsters playing the default. They've been very methodical in their catwalk attack, and given a lot of respect over to Mad Lions due to them pretty much being conditioned into having to do that.
Yeah. What's your other option?
Yeah, there's no other option. You try and disrespect them, they're just going to destroy you. And while A-core is sitting back, great near damage done on towards the T side. A-core looking to show up again. But Gambit youngsters are so tentative, they don't want to go forward just yet. They want this long approach to be available, and they're going to back off from short and try and relocate.
I think it's a mid-round call as well. This was not the game plan going into the round, and it might not work out, but Axel's found a kill on that A site. That might send them back up towards Cat. But Smoke's already down in the CT spawn, and Nafany's gone through them. This is a big play. Gambit youngsters, they're going to be committing to that A site after all, and they've got a lurk. They've got a man behind enemy lines, or more below it than anything. Nafany coming up. There's no one on the site. The kills have already come through for Gambit youngsters. Those mid to B smokes really scaring Mad Lions, and one by one they start to fall. This looks like it might be the first round for the Ts.
Yeah, the first of the second half. Not exactly perfect, but they get it done. Shush will sit back and save his SG into the next one. And a small chance here for Gambit, albeit very small. But you take a look at the economy over at Mad Lions. It's not great on A-core and Roy, so slight chance here for them to perhaps chip away and get a few more rounds under their belt. I think the comeback is definitely looking on the more impossible side of things, but if they can make the scoreline look respectable, then that, of course, will be the goal.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, it's just going to take one mistake, and that's always the problem up against 15. You don't have a buffer, you don't have that breathing room, and Gambit youngsters, they cannot afford to mess a single round up at this point. But I can come back in with no problem here for Mad Lions. the bank of the team being shush, he can drop over multiple guns to facilitate that those weapons, and even an AWP if he wants to be bold about it. And yeah, he'll go for it. 2 AWPs, in fact. So big investments. But I like to see that. Akor with no armor, not a huge worry. Shiro, he's going to take the long spawn and look for this early pick. Hunden coming around the corner, but again, the flashbangs are there, and the Molotov will send Shiro back. He can't commit to the fight. Mad Lions have been doing a good job of shutting out these Gambit players at the start of the round, and Bubsky is even going to go one step further to take a kill.
Supra couldn't see him. He literally couldn't see him over the top of the Molotov. So Bubsky, easy pickings for him. He moves forward. His teammate's the front man. Inter should realize that the AWP could be here as well, and Defani's got that. Perhaps a little bit overzealous from the Mad Lions. Not exactly needed. They found the initial kill, and they threw it away. They go for the 2-for-1. And now the B bomb site is under pressure. It is in fact being taken by Gambit youngsters. So it has to be the safe call.
That's the round, right? That's the issue with B. You lose the site, you've often just lost everything. And Axel might be putting more kills in as well. Roy, oh, he's burning in that Molotov, but he gets out alive. Smoked by his teammate, saved. But yeah, no, I agree. A bit overzealous towards that B site. Not really necessary, but at the same time, I can feel why you would do it. It's 15-6. You got confidence. You've got a kill. You think the tunnels might be empty, and if you commit to that play, and it is, where you have so much real estate, so much information, but important tuck from Inters to get that kill. A chance here.
Gambit youngsters, it would be amazing for them if they could get rid of every weapon here in Mad Lions, but you can take a look at the T-side economy, it's not in a good state, so you can't really go for it. So Mad Lions will at least have those weapons in play for the next round.
The phrase comes to mind, beggars can't be choosers.
Exactly.
You know, take what you can get. You don't want to
push it too much.
Yeah, that's when you start to get punished. And Gambit youngsters, well, I mean, a perfect example. They punish Mad Lions getting aggressive in the tunnels. Take what you can get. You get that man advantage. Could have fallen back off the back of it, but not a worry. 15-7, plenty of room for Mad Lions to close out this game, and a bit of a tactical pause just to work out how.
Yeah, definitely needed. I think that they've started to lose a fuse, so clearly they still should be feeling very confident. You've got so many rounds to play with. You've only lost 2 rounds, right? And a lot of them are just small mistakes. They're, you know, a little bit of over-aggression here and there. As soon as they tighten that system up, Hunden will make sure that it happens.
Yeah.
And eventually, Mad Lions will roll into 1 round. So it's all in Gambit youngsters to see how many they can get. Double figures, that's the goal here. As long as you can get into, you know, above 10 or 10, that's okay, considering how poorly it could have gone.
Considering how poorly it was at one point. I mean, it still is. 15-7 is not a close game by any means, so take every single round as they try and do so towards the B site. Nice entries. There's a stack here from the CTs. Akor going to drop 1. A tag onto Inters as well. Akor, if he can find another kill, there's a chance. No way they're going to close it out on an Eco. Second frag from Akor. Bubsky goes 1-for-1, and Roy's got a gun as well for this retake.
Not like this. Axel is going to be stopped. Akor is showing up. Certainly the player of this match as he goes back and looks to seal the deal. Looks to put Gambit youngsters in the coffin. He'll looking towards the tunnel, spots the player crossing. He should be grabbing this, but it's Roy who takes it. A 16-7 win. Mad Lions under the new organization off to a great start.
Yeah, fantastic start. That's what you love to see. It's kind of what we expected from these players as well. Gambit youngsters, we were hoping that their, you know, ragtag young gamers could come together and throw us an upset into the win, but it wasn't meant to be. They've still got a chance though in the tournament, just losing 1 best-of-1. They'll play a best-of-3 tomorrow to stay in the group, whereas Mad Lions, will they go forward to that winners game?
Yeah, Mad Lions, I think we were always going to have to predict him to go forward into the winners game. We didn't really expect too much from Gambit youngsters. We knew that they had potential to come into this, maybe cause a stir, right? They have the individuals. But for me, I don't really think the individuals showed up. I don't think they were really there at all. I think Shiro had 1 good round, but after that, I haven't really seen him, and he has to deliver more.
And credit where credit is due to Mad Lions. They did a great job of avoiding Shiro, especially in that first half. He was having to go towards the B site on his own with the AWP, and even then they would go for A executes. Really a rough one, but we're going to bring in our analyst desk to see what they made of that game.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, no surprises there with Mad Lions taking that first win to cement themselves in the winners' final later today and knocking Gambit youngsters down into the losers bracket. No surprises with that result, really.
No surprises. I think I was a little surprised with the scoreline at the end there. Very convincing showing coming out from Mad Lions, and I was so very impressed. Like the first 5 or 6 rounds was very back and forth. It was like I saw some couple of cool things coming out from Gambit youngsters, but some really, really good mid-round calls being given by Hunden, right? They were just playing into their hands. And overall, just a very, very convincing start from the mixed team.
Exactly. I mean, it was those post plants. They didn't lose a single post plant on their T side of things. And it was really a testament, once again, to the foundation of this team. The simplicity. I love their approach. You mentioned it. The mid-round, they always regrouped, either went back towards that long A or went back towards that B, and just overwhelmed. And I love the power in numbers. Just a simple approach. Get into the bomb site, force yourself into that post plant, and just win it every single time. And that's exactly what they did.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you said it yourself, Blair. Gambit youngsters, some of the losses they've had, they've been very convincing losses, right? When they win, they win. When they lose pretty badly. And so it wasn't a showing that was, as you said, particularly surprising coming from Mad Lions there.
Yeah, it wasn't. And just want to point out, I think it was Hugo had mentioned how good Hunden1 was at neutralizing Shiro with the AWP, especially on the CD side. He really couldn't get anything much going for him. And speaking of AWPers, Acor, what a showing from him. He wasn't a top fragger in the server, it was Bubsky, but so many crucial rounds. And what I like was, if you look at Hunden's style, it is the more structured, it's a little bit free-flowing at the same time, but he's not afraid to allow his players to just pop off. Like the final round, Acor just walking into the Molotov. It's a 2v2. They could have played it slow, they could have let them try and get the bomb down and go for the retakes. Like, nah, I'm just gonna run it through the flames and just rip his head off his shoulders. I like that. I like a little bit of tactics, a little bit of free-flowing style, and it worked wonderfully for them.
For sure. I gotta say, the comfortability when you're watching Acor in that server, he just looks so comfortable in those high, intense, pressured situations. I mean, that 1 versus 3 towards that B bomb site, just faking the plant with 6 seconds left and going for the pick. These kinds of proactive plays coming out of individuals on a team, just a star in the making, it's rare, I think, especially when you have an in-game leader that's as strict as Hunden, making sure his players are in the exact moments that he wants them to be, but being able to get a little loose within the server and bring out your own personality in your game and come out on top, I think that's spectacular.
Well, speaking of which, we've actually got Hunden on the line to talk about their win from that game. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I want to know what your preparations were like coming into this game against Gambit youngsters.
We didn't play much for the last week because of the Mad Lions things. We have been doing content for 3 days in a row, so it has been a rough time for prepare for this tournament, but we showed up today and I'm really happy.
Yeah, you certainly did. I kind of want to talk about you coming under that new organization. What's that been like? 'Cause you mentioned that you haven't had much practice or preparation time.
It's a really great place. We came under contract from 1st November, but we haven't had time at all this year to do the content, so this week has been really, really rough for us, but we have tried to play a little bit of Face It and stuff like that when we had time for it, but overall, yeah, we haven't done that much.
Well, I mean, you guys have been showing up incredibly well in that series. One thing that we kind of pointed out on the desk, Posse was kind of surprised that you didn't go for that Vertigo pick, you actually banned it and went for Dust2. What was kind of the thought process behind that?
We saw some weaknesses on them on Dust2, and I think they're a pretty good Vertigo team as well, so I think Dust2 was the right pick, and it showed off today, but when we do the preparation, we pretty much win all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you guys have been looking so strong. What do you kind of think is one of the strengths of the team? Because obviously yourself, with those mid-round calls that we've been bringing up, you've been looking so good. What do you kind of rely on as a team?
We rely a lot on our firepower. I think the 4 other players is really, really strong, and they can pretty much win every round by themselves. So we try to play a little bit more loose, but we need the structure in the end of the round so we can win every round with my mid-round calls, I guess.
Now, you said you weren't able to prepare quite as much as you would hope for coming into this event. Were you guys able to catch that Illuminar match earlier today on that nuke? Because I know you guys are going to face them here right after this next match.
Yeah, Lewis have prepared a lot this week, and he had time for that. So I think we are going to be prepared against him, and I'm not sure if we're going to play nuke or any other maps, but I think we will surprise him in the veto.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Hunden. It's so nice to be able to speak to you, and we will see you later for your game against Illuminar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, speaking of obviously some of the star players, just respect Hunden there, but Acor as well. He had such an impressive showing. You kind of picked up on that there before we went into that interview. There were so many crucial moments for him. I just want to pick up on that round 12, that 1v2, which was so hectic, but he still managed to close out. And I think that's what we were talking about, the skill and experience of this team, just versus Gambit youngsters. It kind of proves crucial in rounds like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what I think Potter pointed out as well, what impressed me a lot is it's a 1v2, 1v3 scenario. You have the AWP out, you have so many angles coming in. The way he approached that, his commitment to an angle, instead of just being like, you know, just looking back and forth and trying to rely on high sensitivity or high aim, he was just being so confident and calm and just playing the odds. When you play the odds, that's, in my opinion, that's the way to play Counter-Strike. And he played it so very well. That's something that comes from a more experienced player, players who've been playing at the highest levels of Counter-Strike for a very long time. So I was very impressed with that. And also like how at times he goes a certain place where you'd be like, do you really want to go for it, right? But he goes for it and he wins it. And hey, if you win it, you win it.
Exactly. And of course, being in those sticky situations, coming out on top, winning those clutches, it's great. But those are bonus rounds. I really liked his impact in the regular rounds, you know, his trading ability, being so close up to his riflers, being able to aggressively trade, force the trade, get into the bomb sites, and just really get into the mix. I think Operas right now, it's really challenging for them to get so involved, especially in that mid round, you know. A lot of the focus is towards those riflers to create space, to find what the defensive formation is going to be, but not A-Core. A-Core is right up there with his riflers. He's right up next to Bubsky, and he's forcing those trades. And I think that's a rare trait that's in A-Core, and I really liked it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you mentioned Bubsky there. He has 22 frags. He was topping the scoreboard there, which is pretty crucial. And he was another player that was so crucial to Mad Lion's success.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at Bubsky, ever since like he popped up in that young Danish squad, I think it was like Refresh and all those guys. Frags, right?
Yes.
And ever since he got picked up by someone like Hunden, I think he's really grown into being one of the better players. I think he's one of the star players alongside A-Core in the lineup. I just got to point out, like, even though, yeah, here he top frag, but even when he doesn't necessarily top frag all the time, he's got such a very refined approach to the game, which I really like to see. It's kind of like, I wouldn't really put him at the level of a Robs yet, but like it's very structured. He seems to understand how to play his role well, and also he is very selfless. Like Hunden sends him out to get the opening kills. He's also the best opening fragger for the team, so he fills in so many roles for that lineup. And yeah, like I said, there are no real superstars on this team, but it just clicks. And I think, you know, if the system works, it works.
Well, yeah, and that's what's so incredible about those guys from Mad Lions. We'll be seeing them a little later on in our winners bracket, but first, we're going to be heading into Crazy versus North after this break. Make sure you stay with us for that.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG Bet.
Hi, my name is D1 Ala Mengret.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
My name is Bill Carter. My handle is Jump.
My name is Christopher Michaels, better known as Monte Cristo.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Morrow, and I'm on-camera talent for both esports and the world of entertainment.
I think it's important that people are made aware that their behavior is not acceptable if you're going to throw out bigoted terms or target somebody for that kind of harassment.
So dealing with toxicity, even just on a normal day-to-day basis, when I game, I just like to be sort of an anonymous gamer, and to this day, I am scared to use my mic.
I think that anytime you can sit someone down that has a negative mindset or has a sense of toxicity, Think about who you're affecting.
If I had the ability to confront a troll face to face, they would not be the keyboard warrior that they are inside of the game.
The GLHF pledge is super important. Anything that's encouraging people to promote positivity, to promote understanding, to promote sympathy.
It's cool to see that people are going above and beyond to be a voice for those from a community that may not be as well represented in gaming. You do matter.
GLHF.
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 Good luck. Have fun.
Magic in the air, as Santa's coming home at Christmas time. Christmas time, starting night, sing together, lullaby. All is calm, all is bright. We come together, now it's time. Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas time, starlit night, sing together, now it's time. All is calm, all is bright. We come together, now it's time. Christmas time, starting night, sing together, lullaby. Sing together, now it's time.
It's a wonder, the spell I'm under, because of the chill in the air. Snow is falling, and folks are calling to bring in some Christmas cheer. What a feeling, the Yuletide season, nothing else can compare. When together we'll be around the Christmas tree, what a wonderful time of the year. We'll be singing songs of old as we carol down the road. Children's faces will glow as they play in the snow, gently falling. Each December the heart grows tender for those we long to be near. For it's the faces you see round the Christmas tree. What a wonderful time of the year. We'll be singing songs of old as we carol down the road. Children's faces will glow as they play in the snow, gently falling. December, the heart grows tender for those we long to be near. For it's the faces you see around the Christmas tree. What a wonderful time of the year when together we'll be around the Christmas tree. What a wonderful time of the year.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light.
DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and GGBet.
It's a beautiful day here in Seville at DreamHack Open, and it's been even brighter for 4 of our teams as they head into the winner's bracket. But it's not over yet. Now they'll be fighting for their spot in Sunday's semi-finals. My name is Freya, and I will be your desk host for the duration of the weekend, but also joining me up on here are Potter and Blair. Now this match is very, very exciting. As we said, it will determine who is going straight through to Sunday. They get Saturday off to chill, you know, go and see the sights of Seville. Very, very nice.
Very, very nice, but I don't think they're going to be going for a touristy outing if they do manage to make it all the way to Sunday. I think they're going to be sitting down, getting some practice hours in, and just trying to, like, you know, prep for whatever matchup they have on Sunday.
Definitely, and kind of complete opposites as far as their opening matches go. Crazy, kind of an easier side in their opening match, and then North going all the way to the OT. And not only that, they had to claw their way to even make it to that point. I think it bodes well for them that they actually ended up winning that match, especially in such a close fashion. But yeah, it's a little worrisome.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to take a look at our group to see exactly what has gone down this morning. In case you missed any of the action in Group A, of course, as we were saying earlier, Crazy beat Movie Star Riders. And as you were saying, Potter, a very, very close game between North and Big, only managing to close it out in OT. Now, that means that Crazy will be taking on North. And unfortunately, Movie Star Riders will be moving into the lower bracket versus Big, which is still a huge, huge game. Of course, they are best of 3s. So that will be playing out tomorrow. Make sure you don't miss out on that. But now we're going to be talking about Crazy versus North. Again, a best of 1 game. It could potentially go either way.
It could. It could. I think this would be the second coolest game so far today. We did see the Big matchup earlier on, and which, you know, it didn't go the way of Big. North managing to claw themselves back here. But going against Crazy, it's going to be much more harder. They look so convincing. They look so very comfortable. And for North, yes, they were able to claw back. They showed quite a bit of tenacity to bring it back from what looked like the brink of losing that matchup. At the same time, they need Kirby to drop a 30 bomb in regulation to make it happen. That's not sustainable. I still saw a lot of flaws in their approach. There's too many mistakes being made. And if they do that against these Crazy guys, it's not going to be easy.
Definitely not, and it's certainly not sustainable. And I mean, that was Kirby going from the beginning of the match all the way to the end, being very, very involved, being very impactful. And the rest of his team, sure, towards the end, they did show up, they did liven up, and that's how they were able to bring it over the cross line, at finish line, and actually win in that OT. But it was almost a little too late. Big had so many openings to actually close that one out. So certainly on the North side of things, every one of these players, they have to step up, because you're right, it's not sustainable.
Now, Blair, I believe you've got 3 reasons why for us. Can you walk us through these 3 reasons?
Yes, 3 reasons why this one should be a banger is obviously reason number 1 is North need this win, right? This is a matchup that they really want to win. It's the best of 1. They can potentially get that win over Crazy. They have a day off. They can prep for the semifinals. And bear in mind, they need to win this tournament. They need to at least reach the finals to at least feel a little good about themselves, right? So this is a lot of pressure on this team, and they need this W. Reason number 2 and 3 are together. It's going to be, of course, a trio of Kirby, AZ, and Yugi, and Ships, Esperanto, and Otto. And now, if these 6 players fire off for both these teams, it's going to be one hell of a banger. Of course, we have Emmy as well, coaching for Crazy, in-game leading for Crazy, and at the same time, you have Gade, who is still kind of like filling into those big boots left behind by Cadian and MSL. So it's going to be a battle of brains. At the same time, there's going to be a lot of brawn coming into play here. And I want to see just all guns blazing. I want to see a lot of firefights taking place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Blair, you've been speculating a lot about what map this is going to be going to. What's your insight on this one? Because you've been right pretty much every single game.
I'm going to put all my money on the table. I think it's Train. I'll tell you why real quick. North are going to float Vertigo. They're not going to ban it out because even though usually ban it, it's the map Crazy never plays. And North can potentially bring it out because they did do it against Liquid, right? So I expect Vertigo to get banned out by Crazy. North are going to ban Dust2, Mirage. Crazy are going to ban Overpass and Nuke and Vertigo, leaving Inferno and Train. And if I am North, I'm going for Train because Inferno, Crazy looked too good today.
I have to agree with you. I think it will come down to Train as well, although I'm a little bit worried for North just because I mentioned before that Crazy have such a small map pool. But if they're going to make it go all the way, and it looks like you're absolutely right, it will go all the way down to Train. If I'm North here, I'm disappointed in this map veto. I think Train is a really strong map coming out for Crazy. I mentioned it in the pregame. Crazy are coming into this tournament once again with only 4 proficient maps, 3 that they're super confident in, and that 4th being Nuke. They're okay on it. So I think, especially in a best-of-1 map veto series, it could have gone down a little bit closer, but North, with their struggles recently, their map pool is also a little bit weak.
I think the biggest problem for North right now is they don't really seem to have a home map. They don't seem to have a few maps where they're like, yeah, we're going to win this 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And for Crazy, like I mentioned, yes, they do have a shallow map pool, but that hasn't been exposed yet so far in this event. And yeah, for North, it's going to be hard. Train is a map where Crazy can just pop off, and you're going to need players like Yugi. Yugi, this player, like he was picked up by North to be the star opper. He was so good in his earlier lineups in Heroic, for example. He popped off, and we were like, this guy is the new Danish opping sensation. He hasn't really lived up to that. And on a map like Train, where dual ops are a thing, he's going to have to really, really step up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw him obviously stepping up earlier today. He went 22 for 23. Not the best, not the worst of the team. He was right in the middle of the pack, but Kirby was the guy we were speaking about earlier. 37 kills to his name. But as you mentioned, Blair, it's kind of a shame that that had to happen for them to close out the map.
Yeah, and it's not just him who has to step up over here. Train is a very different beast altogether compared to Nuke and Cajun Beat. Like this guy, the most experienced player in this particular lineup. He's been there forever. He has played some of the highest level CS as well. Looking at Train, especially where a dual op setup might come into play, it's going to be Yuki and Cajun Beat. If they get the money going on the CD side, who are going to have to shut things down. What I'm a little bit more worried about is the T side. The T side, when we saw from Nuke, was not looking that great, I'll be honest about it, right? They needed a lot of clutch plays to come in to work out, and this current iteration of Nuke, the way it's played right now, is where T-side actually has a lot more advantages. Train is still one of the most CD-sided maps still in the map pool. I'm still not surprised to see 12-3 scorelines for the CT side. So I'm going to be a little worried for North on their T side, but the fact that they allowed this map through the ban out Inferno means they should have a game plan in place.
Absolutely. Speaking of game plan, the man on your screen there, Gade, I mean, he's very new to this in-game leadership role. And you're right, on Train, it is very challenging on that T side to find those openings. The choke points and crossbars that the CTs generate while they're defending, it just seems to be so strong. So the utility game has to be top-notch coming out of North for them to be able to find those openings, allow Caribbean to get in the mix, find the openings, get a little wild, get a little crazy, and get those frags over to the North side to create some openings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's pretty interesting that it has ended up on Train because these two sides have only faced off 3 times in their entire lifespan, and it's been this year, and it has all been at the Berlin Minors or Major.